Jesse Jackson has identified the greatest cause of social decay in America today. And it's not racism, it's not poverty, it's not drugs, it's not war, it's not violence. Those are all the symptoms and consequences. But they're not the root cause of the greatest social decay in our America today. The cause is a lack of self-worth, a lack of an identity worth respecting, a lack of self-respect and self-dignity, and that comes from not knowing who we really are and what our purpose is. Many people today feel trapped and defined by the circumstances of their life. We can feel trapped by our lack of time, by our job, our debt, our family situation, the economy, or our health. Whether we're actually unemployed and barely scraping by or a successful executive with plenty of money in the bank, life can appear to be living us rather than us living the life we feel we were meant to live. Reverend Peter Gomes tells us that's what hell is. Not fire and brimstone and eternal torment, but rather hell is being defined by your circumstances and believing that definition. Research shows that the number one fear in people is having lived a meaningless life. With that in mind, I want to return to one of my favorite metaphors, animals called lemmings. They're little furry rodent-like animals that have a reputation that at some point in their lives they run en masse into the sea and die. I find myself returning periodically to a fictional story by David Hitchens, and in his version, the lemmings run off the edge of a cliff. In this story, there's a lemming named Emmy who one day decides to ask why lemmings run off the edge of a cliff. Her question seems to startle and bewilder and annoy those who she asks. All they can say is, this is just what we do. We're lemmings. At one point she asks, well, how do we know that running off the edge of a cliff is a good thing? To which she's told, well, no one ever comes back, so it must be good. Right? Makes sense. But not being satisfied by this answer, Emmy keeps inquiring, and eventually she meets a group of lemmings who call themselves the No-Leaps. They've formed in opposition to this culture of leaping off the cliff. They've organized around the cause and can even be seen picketing at the cliff's edge. When Emmy asks them why they're against leaping, they say, well, it's because they don't want to leap off the cliff. Well, when she asks them, well, what do you want to create? They look confused. And they say, well, I guess we want to create a world in which no one leaps. But why? Why, asks Emmy, who's quickly disillusioned because she realizes that the no-leaps know what they don't want, but they don't know what they do want. Emmy begins to realize that she could no longer look to others to tell her who she should be or what she should do with her life. One day, while sitting on the edge of the cliff, crying with angst and confusion, Emmy takes to pondering her purpose in life and why she exists. She begins to realize that the reason she's always asking so many questions is because her purpose is about opening people up to new worlds and new ways of life. While perched there, staring at the ledge on the other side of the abyss, Emmy gets the idea that she wants to build something that will get her over the abyss to the other side. And eventually, she creates a kind of slingshot, if you can imagine this, that catapults her over the abyss to the other side. Now, she doesn't stop asking questions, and it turns out she opens up new worlds for all lemmings. Nevertheless, there are certain lemmings who refuse to give up the big leap. They feel it's too important to their heritage and identity as a group. However, more and more lemmings begin to ask why and to consider other sources of meaning for their lives. Now, in our lives today, the rapid pace of change keeps many of us from taking the time to ask the most important questions. Questions like, what brings you the strongest sense of meaning and joy? Who are you? Why do you exist? What is your purpose in this world? What is it that you want to create with your life? These are not obscure, esoteric questions. These are the basic building blocks of a meaningful and fulfilling life. We have to be careful, though, because our purpose can often get confused with our vision. While vision is something that we want to create, our purpose is something that we discover from within ourselves as we go through our lives. You know, part of the Lemming story that I haven't told you, there's a character named Lenny who thinks that his purpose in life is to be a motivational speaker. When Emmy asks him why he wants to be a motivational speaker, he first answers because he's good at it. Eventually, with her prodding, he realizes why he wants to do it. In his case, it's to motivate people to create more cooperation and community. Once he knows why he's doing it, he's able to live his calling with great conviction and enthusiasm. Now consider the fact that everything exists to serve something else. Right? A pen exists to serve the purpose of writing. A chair to serve the purpose of sitting. Everything that exists to serve something beyond itself. A door, a window, a piece of paper. They all serve something beyond themselves. And that's why anyone or anything that doesn't serve something beyond itself is a form of cancer. And that's why Jesus continually said things like, the greatest among you must become like the younger, and the leader like one who serves. And why all the world's religions teach as one of their tenets, service to others. And why here at All Souls we say every Sunday, when we come together in service, in worship service, that service is our law. I'd like us to look at the purpose of this church for a moment this morning. If you'll turn to the back of your order of service, if you have one, I want you to look. You'll see some printing in italics on the very back. Now, if you're listening by podcast, don't worry, because I'm going to read it. This statement was written and adopted by this congregation in 1952. So it's been printed on our order of service every Sunday for over 5 decades. And it is this church's official statement of purpose that is documented in our church bylaws. It says, this church is dedicated to religion, but not to creed. Neither upon itself nor upon its members does it impose a test of doctrinal formulas. It regards love of God and humankind and the perfecting of our spiritual nature as the unchanging substance of religion and the essential gospel of Jesus. Consecrating itself to these principles, it aims at cultivating reverence for truth, moral character and insight, helpfulness to humanity, and the spirit of communion with the infinite. It welcomes to its worship and fellowship all who are in sympathy with a religion thus simple and free. Now, when we say that this church is dedicated to religion but not to creed, that upon itself nor upon its members does it impose a test of doctrinal formulas, it means that no one can be rejected from this place due to their beliefs. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Jews, atheists, and more. Everyone is welcome here, as long as they can respect others who have different beliefs.